Hi, this is Captain Bill Pike, Executive Editor of Power and Motor Yacht Magazine, and I can't believe it. I am not going to be at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show this year. Probably I'll miss the show for the first time in 26 or 27 years. I can't remember which. I got some health issues related to my family that obviate my coming down there this year, but I'm sure gonna miss the show. Most boat shows are a kind of a source of happiness to me. Always have been since I was a kid. Anyway, I was looking forward to seeing a lot of boats, but I wasn't able to participate in the thing they did up in Connecticut, up in Essex, Connecticut, and they asked me to put together a little video down here in the sunny South on the boats that I especially would like to take a look at. So I got three of them. And the first one is the Jupiter 41 Sportbridge. It's a boat I tested a couple of weeks ago. Really nice looking boat, you know, aesthetically pleasing. In addition to that, we got about 51 knots out of her average speed. It's pretty good. She had three 350 horsepower Yamaha outboards on her transom. And like a lot of outboard boats, she would corner with a vengeance, even at 51 miles an hour, which was quite exciting. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it for all boats, but that boat handled it nicely. Inboard leaning turn, very sharp, as I said before, and not a lot of RPM loss in the as you're coming around. That's the handling, so nice. Sea chest. The boat had a sea chest, which is very unusual for a 41-foot outboard powered boat. I don't know that I've ever seen such a craft with a sea chest. Sea chest, of course, reduces the number of through hull fittings in the hull. That's sometimes unsightly. And it's safer, really. The less through hulls you have, the better the hull is. Stronger the hull is, perhaps. The sea chest on the 41 had an interesting aspect to it. You could shut it off. When you pull the boat out of the water, you could turn the sea chest off and trap the water that was already in there, so that you didn't have, when you put the boat back in the water, you don't have to mess around with the air conditioning genset, one thing or another, you don't have to wait for them to fill up with water or goof up, and forget. That's a pretty nice feature. And the other aspect of the boat that I liked, she had a Yamaha Helmmaster joystick. It's technology developed by Yamaha, of course, Teleflex, and Volvo Penta. All three of them got together, put this thing together. The joystick looks like a Volvo Penta IPS joystick. You get pod type handling out of the boat. It's not as strong as IPS or Zeus. I got the boat broadside to a current, and she took a while to come around. If you're dabbling in that, they put a bow thruster on this boat, so I just wanted to see how it would work, so I didn't use the bow thruster, but I guess if I would if I were just if I hadn't owned the boat. So that's the Jupiter 41. The next boat that I would love to see, kind of renew the acquaintance with, is the Grand Banks 55 Aleutian RP, or raised pilot house. I was on a 53 Aleutian raised pilot house a couple of years ago up in Desolation Sound on the west coast of British Columbia. Lovely boat. Engine room, spectacular. I mean, just about as good as you could get in an engine room. The 55 is sort of an enhanced version of the 53. There's more stowage room on board in the various staterooms in the galley, I think. There is a larger cockpit and a larger flybridge area. Both the 53 and the 55 had the one I tested up in the Pacific Northwest had a 715 horsepower Cummins QSM 11 diesel, and a set of them, and so did the 55 in Malaysia, where I was able to run the boat quite extensively in what's called Johor Strait. Got about the same speed from both boats, somewhere in the neighborhood of 21 knots. What's interesting though, and what I like about this, both these boats, 53 and the 55, is, let's say at 1,000 RPM, you're getting about 8 knots out of the boat, and you're burning 6 gallons per hour. Now, the 55 weighs, I believe, about 75,000 pounds. That's their displacement. My old Grand Banks 32 weighed about 20,000 pounds. And to get 8 knots, you had to burn about 2 gallons an hour, maybe 2.5 gallons an hour. So when you compare that, you know, they're doing something right there. And of course, you can, you know, you got a lot of speed there if you need it. The last thing I liked about the 55 was the you could kind of, in let's say in the kind of Zen sense, you could become one with that boat pretty quickly. Straight shot inboard boat with bow and stern thrusters, side power thrusters. Not a complicated boat to handle, but very tends to empower the person handling the boat, operating the boat. You just feel kind of like synced into that boat. And it's a good feeling. It's you get a boat like that, it's just fun to operate. Now, the last boat that I'd really love to see is not one I've already tested. Actually, I am looking at testing it in the near future. I may even get to help deliver the boat from the Lauderdale show after the show, around the end of Florida there, the tip of Florida, back up to Dunedin on the west coast of Florida, her home port. Anyway, I love efficiency in boats. And the backhoe, of course, is a single engine boat. It's got a 600 horsepower, you can get a Cummins, Volvo, Penta, variety of engines. With the 600 horsepower, you could do about 8.1 knots. Now this is according to the company's performance numbers, not mine. But they say you can get about 8.1 knots out of this thing, and you're only burning about 2.5 gallons an hour. Now, as I just mentioned earlier, my old Grand Banks 32, which weighed about 20,000 pounds again, that required about 2.5 gallons an hour to do that. This boat weighs, I think it weighs about 30,000 pounds, maybe a little more. And you're getting 8.1 knots out of it, and you know, burning 2.5 gallons an hour. It's not bad, particularly when you consider that you can also run this thing well over 20 knots, wide open, if you need to. In addition to her diesel engine for propulsion, she's got to expedite handling. She's got a couple of thrusters, standard side power, bow thruster, and stern thruster. Makes the boat, is probably going to make the boat extremely maneuverable. You can basically, with a single engine and a thruster, you can do a lot with a boat, I'll tell you. A lot more than you can do with a single engine alone, I'll tell you. I have experience in that realm. Anyway, and then lastly, the backhoe 41 is a boaty looking boat. She's a down east style boat, but I mean, it's kind of angular, a little more angular maybe than some, and she's got a lovely profile. She's got, you know, really nice layout, 2 staterooms, 2 heads. Very livable boat. I mean, you could be very comfortable on a boat like this and go virtually anywhere, coastwise, have a good time. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll miss you at the show. It's one of my favorite things at the show is just to see people that I've met before or know, friends and people I haven't met yet. And but maybe I'm hoping I'll see you at the Miami show. Take care.